in our Western culture and even in Europe, it's pretty common to eat later in the evening and to also have our biggest meal during that time. So, if we think about the sun in the sky, so the sun rises, right, and the energy is a little bit less than it would be in the middle of the day. The sun starts to rise, things start to get warmer, 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 and then around noon or 1, the sun is highest in the sky and things are bright and warmest that they're going to be. They might get a little bit warmer a couple hours later in the summer, but generally we're kind of at that peak of the day. So you can think about your digestion that way, that when we wake up in the morning and when we're about to go to sleep, our inner fire, which is called Agni, Agni, our inner fire is lower and not as vibrant and not as alive and not as running, just because as we rise and fall with nature, so do our bodies, right? So if we stuff a hamburger down our throats at 8 p.m., wash it off with a cold drink, and try to go to sleep, some people are totally fine, and I envy you. But others of us, we struggle. This is because our digestive fire is lowest and lower at the end of the day. I actually saw a post recently from one of my Ayurveda teachers, and she said that supper actually comes from the word supplement. And so the supper is meant to be more of a healthy, smaller meal that is going to nourish us and lift us up. Lunchtime is when we can really have those bigger meals. Okay, so this doesn't mean you can't go out to dinner or anything like that. This is what I do when I go out to dinner, and that'll lead me to my next point, which is I try my best to go at 4 or 5. And then this is a new thing that I'm doing is I take half of my meal and I immediately kind of put it to the side of the plate and I get a box for it because I tend to overeat, as we do at restaurants. So the next tip is to eat a smaller portion. And so in Ayurveda, they think about a serving size as an anjali, which is a hand. So you could put 2 hands together. This is a good serving size for a meal. Now you want to make sure you're filled up and not starving yourself or anything like that. But if you go to Europe or other countries, it's more common to get a normal size that's much more small and digestible. In the West, sometimes we have these huge platters, pizzas, chips, nachos, like all sorts of stuff. And it's so damn good that you can't help yourself but eat the whole thing. And then you're struggling for 3 to 5 hours afterward. That is me. So just to keep in mind that your meal times, especially earlier in the day and latest in the day, should be kind of that anjali.